The Power of Resonant Language, a conversation with RHP alumni. Are you ready to commit to shifting your consciousness and holding space for others to do so through the profound impact of resonant language? In this video, I'm going to be sitting down with past participants of the Practitioner of Resonant Healing program to share why learning and practicing resonant language is central to the program's transformative power. So here we are with Michal and Celeste, and I'd like to ask them both, how did you decide to become focused on resonant healing? How did this happen? Celeste, would you like to go first?
Sure. I think it was a really natural progression from nonviolent communication, which was a beautiful way to start, but limited in its capacity for my own personal healing. So working on understanding where the language of alarmed aloneness is central, I would say, to what was happening underneath. So to be received with attunement and care and the resonance that comes from someone else who has a brain that has the capacity to hold me was really this way of beginning to unburden myself of my own grief and limitations, and brought me into a world of mattering, which was just phenomenal to have another person receive me with such compassion and warmth and care. And I think I had to do this personal work first.
And Michal, how about you with movement into resonant language?
So I can only tell that I have my guardian angel, which is Asha Berendt. And she told me, I was learning NVC at that moment, and she said like, oh, you really need to meet Sarah. Oh, you will really love it. And I thought like, oh my goodness, so there is something deeper than NVC. And I can honestly tell that my life consists of two parts. It's before and after resonant healing. And the one that's after is filled with self-care and love and space for whatever is ahead of me.
If you were talking, Celeste, to somebody who was thinking about the program, what kinds of questions and advice would you have for them? In addition to resonance, of course.
I think I would really want to know what their hopes were for going through the program and how much they understood about what resonant healing really is. I would want to talk to them about how much the processes matter and how much our capacity to do the processes will allow us to be the practitioners that our clients need.
Hello, Gayatri. How wonderful to see you.
It's very wonderful to be here.
So yes, please, what would your advice be to someone who's imagining that they might enjoy this program?
I would advise that people really sort of have a very clear understanding of the energetic commitment in some ways, because there is, of course, the time commitment to, the different components, the teaching modules, the process work sessions. But there's a way in which it's a very transformative program. Well, it works at the pace that I think each of us are ready for in our lives, and that I'm not sure we fully sort of maybe know ahead of time. But there's something about a willingness to be able to step into those places in yourself and with others.
I can tell what was important for me that I didn't know about. And I discovered that after. I would really love to make more space for my learning process because it takes time. I would really book some time off after these days of classes because whatever happens there, it needs time for integration. And I didn't have that time. I just jumped into my, working thing right after. I would ask for more feedback when I was working in the groups because it's super valuable if you are received with what you offer and what you can do better. And it's not from the place of the judgment, it's place of the great support.
For me, it's a reliable place to keep coming back to. So the resonant language is such a beautiful palette of opportunities to meet people, because for some poetry and metaphor are going to really be what they can drop into. And for others, the language of feelings and needs, the acknowledgement of what is. I don't use swearing a lot in my work, but I think even that gives someone like some humor or some place.
And Michal, what are your thoughts about why it's important?
My approach to life was very analytical, and it still is. So my quick answer is because it works, because it's proven. And I don't like overcomplicating things. That's the quickest answer. And for me, when I go deep into that question, it's like having a map with the glowing path in the very dark room. So, if you just stick to the points, to the checkpoints on the map, you will always find a way out from this maze. I really like that.
It was amazing how impactful it was for the other person. It was like being seen in this other way. Even if my body sensations weren't the same as theirs, they had this sense that I was moved by their very existence and whatever they were going through.
It's the closest I've got with using words to tasting into being. Thich Nhat Hanh, or the Buddhist philosophers, even Hindu Vedantic talks about, which is like, oh, wow. You have experiences during meditation, but it's never a verbal two-person experience. So there's something pretty profound, like deeply spiritual or profound about just very basic attunement. Two human beings in the space, the field between them.
Hopefully, we'll be able to give them a splash before they get into the water so that they wouldn't be surprised by the water. Yeah, this is my hope.